Hello, I am back. If you guys are looking for suggestions on your wardrobe, your duds for your photo session with me, then you, my friend, are in the right spot. Yeah. All right, first we're going to talk about if you have a portrait session with me that involves a high school senior or a professional headshot, we're going to talk about those tips for your wardrobe first. And if we have a group shot scheduled together, hang with me for just a second because we're going to talk about those in just a minute down the road. All right, my first tip for everybody coming in is to make sure that you are comfortable and relaxed in your clothing. What does this mean? This means that I do not want you to go out and buy a bunch of new clothes. Why? Because when we wear new clothes, we all know we want to look good, right? But we're all a little bit unsure of how it fits and how people are going to perceive those new clothes. So if you've got a piece of clothing that you get a lot of compliments on when you wear it right now, I want you to bring that piece of clothing. You know why? Because more than likely, that is a good color on you, right? And that color that looks good on you means that it goes good with your skin tone or your eyeballs, okay? So if you've got that piece of wardrobe that you get tons of compliments on, bring it with because we are going to put that on. If you've got more in that color scheme, bring those with too because we are going to try them all on. In this portrait session, you get 3 wardrobe changes, right? 1, 2, 3 little piggy wardrobe changes. The next tip that I have is to make sure that if you're gonna wear colors, try to wear some muted colors, like a soft muted color, right? Jewel big tones, like this might be it's okay. When I say big jewel tones, I mean like kind of fuchsias and purples and bright oranges. Those are more jewel tones. If you're gonna wear those, that's cool, but make sure you layer them. Now, speaking of layering, if you're gonna do suit coats or anything that's got some sort of vest or layer to it, that's great. And you can wear those colored jewel tones or crazy patterns because anytime that you're covering it up with a little bit of solidness, it'll keep that focus right up to the face where we want the focus to be. Okay, next thing, if you're doing the suits, try to stay away from all black and all white because they tend to wash out this guy, your face. Okay, we don't want that. We all want to look awesome for our photo shoot, right? So try to stay away from those blacks and all whites and prop some color underneath those layers. The next thing is if we're doing a full body shot, make sure you've got clean socks and clean shoes because we all want to be polished, right? Excellent. The third thing, or maybe it's the fourth, I lost count. The next thing, watches and jewelry. If you're wearing watches, we'll probably take them off. So if you want to, leave them at home because we do a lot of shots with the hands and this guy tends to detract from this guy. All right, if you're doing jewelry, ladies or guys, make sure that they're all coordinated and that they're not too much in your face because, again, we want that focus to be maintained right here, what you're paying for, this big fancy mug. Along those lines, if we're gonna talk about hair, if you know you need a haircut, go ahead and get your haircut at least a week and a half to 2 weeks before our photo shoot. That'll give you both some time to get used to each other, you and your hairstyle. The next thing we're going to talk about is makeup. This mug is what you want people to focus on, right? This is what you want people to see when they come and look at you in your beautiful new portrait. So try to keep that makeup close to your everyday wear as possible because we want you, again, to feel comfortable in your own skin, so to speak. The last tip that I'm going to give you is try to stay away from any paraphernalia. By paraphernalia, I mean clothing with logos on them, okay? A big alligator right here or writing down the side of your shirt is also gonna clear that focus away from the eyes and down to the alligators or whatever you got hanging out on your sleeves. Anyways, those are my tips for high school seniors and professional headshots. Now, if you're here for the group stuff, here we are. It's if we're doing group shots, one thing I would suggest for anybody in the group and everybody is to be complimentary to each other, but not too matchy-matchy. So what does that mean? That means you can look at that big fun thing called the color wheel with the little pies coming out of it, and you can pick colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, and those are probably really awesome colors to complement with 2 or more people wearing. Now, not be too matchy-matchy. You don't need to wear all white, because all white does what? Oh, what? I didn't hear you. Oh yeah, that's right. It mutes your skin tone, right? So we don't want to do that. And you don't all want to be wearing blue, because then you look like a big blob together or something. It's just crazy. Anyways, you can do that if you're layering. Now, see, there's always exceptions to the rule. If you're going to layer your clothing, a fun thing to do is to wear textures, and you can throw those jewel tones and patterns in. Patterns are awesome if you've got them layered, because it creates some uniqueness to your photo without detracting too much from the mugs. Okay, the last tip for groups is have a wild card. So if you've got everybody coordinating and you've got one color that everybody's got streamed throughout them, you could have one person just wearing that awesome color. It's called the accent color. And you can have everybody else in that group wearing just a piece of it. Maybe on a hat, maybe as a scarf, maybe as a bracelet. Anyways, sorry for the dance off there. If you have any further questions about your wardrobe, go ahead, snap a picture, send it to me, or call me. I love to give suggestions. If you guys are still curious about what happens next, what happens at the photo session, Sarah? What happens after the photo session, Sarah? Stick around, because I got one more video that's coming at you. It's going to cover all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you need to rewatch these, go ahead, hit rewind and play again.